Hello everyone, I hope that you are doing well. So without wasting any time, let's move to the newspaper. First we will identify the important news and then we'll move on to the analysis section. So this is Saturday, April 23, 2022, The Hindu, Delhi edition. As usual, we'll be first identifying the most important news followed by a detailed discussion on the same, right? So let's see. Okay, Lalu Prasad gets bail from Jharkhand High Court not necessary. CPI team stop from not necessary. Suman K. Berry appointed at Niti Aayog Vice Chairman. Important for one day exam especially. Okay. And India UK defense trade tries to get a booster shot. We'll give it a brief read. Fine. 2 JEM Fidain militants kill in Jammu and Kashmir ahead of PM is not required now. What is here? Asthana writes to ED to prove Ansar under PMLA. Okay, not required. SP didn't do enough for jail, not required. 8 more not required. Speeches police to file better affidavit. Supreme Court surprise at turn of submission on Hindu Yuva Vahini event. Not required. I don't think that will be important. Panel yet to decide on jab for children. Okay, we have to see which panel it is, right? Just know about it. Not more than that needed. Postal ballots for NLI being contemplated. We have to see this, what it is. Okay, and let's move forward. On the second page, there is nothing here apart from advertisement, which is irrelevant with respect to our examination. Nothing on this page as well. Nothing with bulldozer to extract. Nothing here. Nothing. Skip to PU examination Calcutta. I don't understand why these students do like this. Hijab rule. Look, the best thing that you can get from a school is education. So ask for that. So that if they are teaching say one subject, ask for teaching them two subjects if you are really interested to develop yourself, because for a middle class family only one thing can develop you, and that is your education. If you compromise on that also, then you won't develop ever, right? And these things, hijab controversy, Ajaan controversy, these things are more politically motivated than actually touching the life of a common man. Okay, it's to conduct RLV landing experiments. We have to see what is this RLV, reusable launch vehicle it will be. Okay, so nothing here as well. Art Museum and Craft of Democracy. The current regime must check whether Raisana Hill project missed the obligation to promote democracy. What is this Raisana Hill project? Okay, we'll just first read the opener. If it is consistent with our examination, then only we'll go for it, right? Fishing for workable solution in the park by India Sri Lanka partnership it will be. Okay, and written by the editors of Hindu. So I don't think that would be very important. And seeing the no, it won't be important. You just know this, that one of the problem between India and Sri Lanka is fishing and fishermen's, right? They often cross each other's boundary. So that is one of the main problem. Different narrative. India must build ties with all political factions of Maldives by helping, not required. India must do this, India must do that. It is Palakka turn to settle score. And communal rights are everywhere, and this is not good. Why it is not good? Because it actually hampers public development only. The government of the day or the opposition of the day will get benefit from it, but one who suffers is the public at large. So public must understand this. Okay, so again there is nothing else here. I don't see on this. War over temple, not required. They will demolish temple, they will demolish mosque, so that they get pounds and pounds of votes, right? You have to understand this, that what is important will never be in the mainstream media. Okay, we'll give it a read. Rajnath rolls out scheme for defense startup. Alliances for armed forces CAPF now on par. Very good. Food Ministry official flags shortage of staff. Okay, that is the problem in India. Three things: funds, function, and functionaries are always at short. ST would defer security before award of death penalty. There was this news, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, about the mitigation experts and why that crime has been done and all those things. Okay, we'll give it a brief read. Fine, to refresh our memories. Ukraine war shifted focus from key issues, says Germany. Obviously, Ukraine war has shifted focus from key issue. You all the Germany, the entire West started shouting democracy is in danger and all those things. and therefore you yourself did that thing. What was the need for NATO to expand so much in east, and what was the need for Russia to, was it necessary condition and enough condition for going on a war in such critical time? Both the parties are wrong. Okay, so let's see more of it. Yes, this is true. We won't be reading this. I'm telling this is true. Why this is true? Because our dietary habits have changed over time, and the exercise portion is missing. Meghalaya tourist can gamble without calms. What is this calms? QUALMS. Okay, we'll read it. Let's see, because it is related to gambling, and gambling is prohibited in some state and allowed in some state. So we have to see what it is, right? Pre-on redressal of wrongly prosecuted person, no. Held in Assam for not producing paper. 2 came from Agartala on train. Okay. Moscow eyes of Ukraine's east south. So aims seizing Donbass, link up with Crimea to gain access breakaway region of Moldova. Okay. New clashes at Jerusalem, Alaska. So 2-3 places are at loggerheads or in a position of clash right now. This entire Ukraine-Russia issue, the entire Israeli issue. Okay. Chanta chief calls talk with rebels. No. India extend duration of 400 million currency swap. Okay, we'll give it a read. Russia illegally holds disputed island. They will say many things now. Why don't you say to China directly? You say to Russia, that's good. You also say to China that they have built an island illegally, right? Okay, there is nothing on this page as well. Yes, we are also expecting this, but again the question is how India would stand up to this challenge, right? This is the main question. Well, I'll come to that news. I'll discuss that. Okay, and then on this page we seldom have any news, and as usual the news is missing with respect to our examination. Okay, Butler continues fires all to the top, and if we see Chennai Super Kings are at, okay, Mumbai Indians are at bottom, and Rajasthan Royals and Gujarat Titans at top. Very good. And where is this? Oh, Royal Challengers Bengaluru has won 5 matches. Great. So I think with this we have come to the end of this newspaper news identification, right? There is nothing much left to identify, so we'll be directly going on to analyze the identified news, right? So India UK defense trade ties to get a booster shot. Let's see, UK likely to offer series of technological collaborations. Fine, this is a good thing that there will be technical collaborations. In the backdrop of rapid geopolitical turmoil, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his British counterpart Boris Johnson on Friday agreed on a new and expanded India-UK defence partnership and vowed to seal an ambitious free trade agreement, okay, by end of the year. So FTA is expected by end of this year. That's a good thing. Look, Britain after Brexit needs India, okay, and we need to capture Britain market for our exports to increase. So look, I always say, when two countries are coming together, or the international relation can be, the position can be seen on 3 things. The first thing is care, the second thing is affair, and third thing is marriage, right? Look, whenever one country start caring for another, it generally turns into affair. That is what, why would one care for another? Because of intermingled interest. Now this is the reason. Well, you see, the interest of Britain lies with India. Why? Because India is a huge market, and we also need the British market to export our goods so that we can also earn forex, and they also need for us. Why? Because India is a big market, and recently after Brexit they are looking for partners, okay, who could become their who could become their potential and large trade partners, right? So both of them have the intermingled interest, therefore it has turned into affair. And what they are saying, technological transfer, FTA, look at the words used, right? So these things shows what, that India and Britain are coming close together, and if FTA becomes possible and other security agreements also get signed, then it will be close to marriage. They both are cooperating very well. Look, marriage does not mean just that they got married. Marriage is a Marriage is a synonym, okay, or a metaphor used for very close relation. Affair is a metaphor used for close relation. Care is a metaphor used for formal relation, right? Which is going to turn into a close relation, right? So look this in this perspective. After his wide-ranging talks with Mr. Modi on the second and final day of his India visit, Mr. Johnson said that UK is creating open general export license, okay, for India to reduce bureaucracy and slashing delivery time for defense procurement. You see, defense deal is also on the cards. The British Prime Minister said both sides agreed to work together to meet new threats across land, sea, air, space, and cyber domains, and UK will partner with India on fighter jets technology as well as in maritime sphere to detect and respond to threat. So UK says that it will be helping us in fighter jet technology, in ship technology, in cyberspace technology, and all those things. A weekend in stormy seas ahead of bilateral meeting at Hyderabad House at the British Prime Minister on Friday described India's-UK relationship as beacon in a stormy sea. Our collaboration on issues that matter to both our countries, from climate change to energy security and defence, is of vital importance as we look to the future. I look forward to discussing these issues with Prime Minister Modi in New Delhi today and working together to deliver a more secure and prosperous future for both the people. Okay, he said in the first statement after ceremonial welcome at Rashtrapati Bhavan. So you understand, Britain needs us, we need Britain for a more equitable world and all those things, right? Therefore the relationship or the international relation between both of them will go towards a more intricate, a more intimate relationship, and that I often say or often replace with the word marriage, right? So you have to analyze it in this way. Fine. Now let's see the other news, if anything else is left. There was a news panel yet to decide on jabs for children. The National Technical Advisory Group on Immunization, okay, there is a technical group at national level on immunization, is yet to take call on approving COVID-19 vaccine for children 5 to 11. Okay, an expert panel of the DCGI recommended granting emergency use of authorization for biological E's COVID-19 vaccine Corbevac. So Corbevac is made by whom? Biological E. Okay, in children from 5 to 11. Fine. Thursday, the panel makes its recommendation to DCGI, Directorate Controller General of Drug Controller General of India, right? Which in most cases accept it. So this one, NTAGI will make a recommendation to whom? Will make recommendation to whom? DCGI. Okay. Now look at this. Student arriving for a pre-university exam on by 2 students in Udupi skipped the exam and hijab was not allowed inside the exam hall. As it appears, these students belong to more or less middle class family only. Then why no one is telling them that for middle class family education is the nectar, not these dresses, right? Any dress you chooses after you get educated, because education will only help you to overcome your social status right now. Okay, whatever socioeconomic status you are, if you get more and more educated, your status will rise, and then you can choose all those things. Prioritization should always be according to your necessity, right? The necessity for the middle class is always changing their socioeconomic condition, and those women who tell them that no, it's your right and all those things, they are actually disempowering them. They are not empowering them. They could have been empowered only by education, but they are not being educated. Instead they are fighting for something that is irrelevant for their future point of view. That's my take on it. You should think in this way, because education can only liberate you from the pain that you have, if you want to get liberated, obviously. If you don't, then what can be done? Postal ballots for NLI being contemplated. Fair enough. CEC urges member of Indian community to register as overseas electoral. Okay. Chief Indian Commissioner Sushil Chandra, during a recent visit to South Africa and Mauritius, urged NRIs to register as overseas electorals and told them the proposal on postal ballots for NRI was being complemented. An ECI declaration read by Mr. Chandra visited the two countries from April 9 to 19 and interacted with the group of NRIs apart from holding meetings with election management bodies of country. During the interaction with members of the Indian community, CEC urged them to register as overseas voters, as present numbers are abysmally low. He also shared with the member that extension of electronically transmitted postal ballot system facility to overseas voter is being contemplated, right? Online voting. Mr. Chandra visit and interactions with NRI came after Union Law Minister informed Lok Sabha that government was exploring the possibility of allowing online voting for NRIs. Okay, then there is nothing much in this. Just know this. As of now, there are just about 1 lakh registered overseas electorals, right? So with this we come to end of page 1. Let's move forward. Nothing here, nothing here, nothing here, nothing here. As usual, we'll be seeing it at last. If at all the first article is relevant or not. If it is relevant, then only we'll read it. The second article is not so relevant because it is about India-Sri Lanka relationship. Read your static section first and then add this current affair part, right? That there is a crisis and they are coming to India and this fishing crisis is always there. You have to understand international relation requires the knowledge of geography. Geography plays a very important means part in international relation, right? And also geography, therefore it is known as geopolitics. It is not known as international politics, it is known as geopolitics. Okay, let's see this article. Rajnath rolls out schemes for defense startups, right? Let's see. Opportunity to understand new technologies. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh launched Innovations for Defense Excellence IDEX Prime and 6 Defense India Startup Challenge meant to encourage defense startup during DEF Connect 2.0. Okay, the IDEX Prime aims to support project requiring support beyond 1.5 crores up to 10 crores to help the ever growing startup in the sector. The IDEX has provided an opportunity to our science and technology professionals to understand futuristic technologies such as AI, augmented reality, blockchain, speech technologies. The startup ecosystem has also been promoted and encouraged through older placement. Okay. So DISC and IDESC has been launched. Fair enough. So these are the two new things. What is DISC? Defense Excellence, Innovation for Defense Excellence. And what is IDEX is Innovation for Defense Excellence. And what is DISC? Defense India Startup Challenge. Fine. Give it a read. There won't be anything much, it seems. Just understand why is IDEX. IDEX is to interconnect. Where should I write? Yes, here. Defense with science tech. Why is DISC? DISC is for defense interconnection with entrepreneurship. Okay. So we need a framework like this. Defense, IDEX and DISC. It will lead to what? It will lead to Atmanirbhar defense sector. Fine. Okay, let's see this one. Allowances for armed forces CAPF on par now, correcting an anomaly linked to the existing difference in risk and hardship allowance between armed forces and CAPF. The defense ministry has brought the ministry personnel on par with their CAPF counterparts. Okay. After due deliberations, it was submitted by the then chairman of Chief of Defence Staff to Defence Ministry, where it was subsequently approved. Okay, it has been approved, right? So military has been brought in par with CAPF with respect to the difference in risk and hardship allowances. Okay, this is the news. Let's see if anything else. Okay, SC moves deeper security scrutiny before award of death penalty. Trial judges to be assisted by mitigation experts. The Supreme Court on Friday asked AG KK Venugopal for assistance to institutionalize a mechanism by which information crucial to decide whether a person should be condemned to death or not can be gathered and placed on record before the trial bench. A bench led by Justice UU Lalit said court may be opting for death penalty too soon. In some cases, trial court sentence a person to death merely hours after conviction. No effort is ever made to dig deeper into convict's childhood experiences, multi-generational history of physical and mental health issue, exposure to traumatic events and other familial, social and cultural factors crucial in order to undertake individualized sentence inquiry. Okay, so these are the factors. Okay, I'll take my time. I will tell my take on this at last. Okay, on Friday the bench said one size fit all approach while considering mitigating factor during sentencing should end. A more enlightened approach should be evolved. The court said mitigation expert, a qualified professional with unhindered access to convict pass. Okay, mitigating expert. Okay, unhindered access to convict pass out to be center of this change in outlook. Mitigating investigators would be expert in field of various social work, sociology, anthropology, criminology, psychology and other social science. They could interview the convicts, their family, friends and other with prison in their past to draw a complete picture. Okay, this information could be placed before a trial judge. Look, as per the idea, there is a, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, there is a kind of flaw in this, right? The first flaw is justice aspect. As far as I understand justice requires rule of law. Okay, means justice will be delivered according to the rule of law. If there is a capital punishment for any crime, then there should be this should be followed, right? Now if the person has done a heinous crime like murder rape and murder, right, and anything like this that actually threatens the social order and morality and all those things of a society, then what should the justice do? Should the justice look into the past experiences of the child, how in childhood of that person, how in childhood he was beaten, so he became a criminal? Sir, a crime is a crime. We should not hate the criminal. We should hate the crime. True, but a crime should be punished so that proper deterrence is created. If some person commits a heinous crime and then he is saved due to his past experiences, then won't it motivate other with such experiences to do a crime and get a bail or get a free experience, means not free experience, get freedom to do such crime? It won't it motivate them? Yes, it may motivate them. The second flaw that I see is, as an idea, it is saying that mitigation expert should help out. Okay, fine, but what happens if mitigation expert or this mitigation expert thing becomes a business for at least saving a person from say your death penalty, right? What will happen then? And as far as the country has experienced, any such business which helps people to safeguard themselves has been there in India, and it has earned well, it has performed well. So won't there be a case where mitigation experts will own their own agency and sell the dream that okay, your death penalty will be condoned and it will be changed to say lifetime imprisonment and all those things? We have to understand proper checks and balances are needed, right? The third thing that I see is the mitigation experts will have complete access to one's past. Is it even possible? Isn't it possible by the convict and their family, of whom interviews will be taken, to paint a picture such that it shows that yes, he was in a traumatic kind of past? It is possible, because we see that in most of the cases on camera person and off camera person are very different, right? So this is also a problem. It says that this mitigation expert will be an expert in sociology, anthropology, criminology, psychology and other things. But is it possible for any person to look into the past of any person through the eyes of that person? Is it possible 100%? It is not. So mitigation experts can never have the complete information about that person. It is also possible to a large extent that they have the wrong information about that person. In my humble opinion, it will complicate the process of justice. Although the idea is noble, but the implementation part seems some problematic. What could be a solution to it? Now, the solution are 2-3 folds, as I see. On individual level, okay, the procedural justice should be done away with, and principle of natural justice should be invoked. Whoever has done the crime should be punished. This should be the motto, and no punishment should be given to the person who has not done any crime. This is the motto right now also. Getting people like mitigation expert, they should be made responsible for this thing. They should file an affidavit in the court or made responsible for this thing, that if in any case court finds out that it was a blatant lie or a cozy picture painted so that the person get a remittal of their sentences or commutation of the sentences, then the mitigation expert will be trial as per the process of law, or as per the process of natural justice, principles of natural justice. We have to understand that accountability and transparency will only lead to fulfillment of this noble idea. The idea is noble, no doubt in it. Yes, we must know what are the situations that create such a heinous criminal in the society, right? And therefore, if we control that situation, the heinous crimes can be controlled. But the criminals must be punished, not because we hate them, because we hate the crime they have done, and by punishing them we are giving a standard message in the society. The government gives the standard message in the society that look, if you do something like that, you will be punished, but according to the law. Okay, so this is my take on this. Fine, let's see the next news. I don't think anything else was there on this page. Look, you can have your opinion different from me. It's completely fine. You don't have to freak out, right? That oh, he's saying like that. No, I have my own opinion, you have your own opinion, and it is completely fine to have a different opinion on different subject. But the opinion should be informed, and it should look that yes, you understand the core crux of this topic, right? It's not that you are saying others' opinion without having any clue about it, what you are saying. Okay, so we see this news. Meghalaya tourists can gamble without qualms. State is all set to make activity legal. So one thing is understandable here, that a state is going to make this activity legal, means gambling is a state subject. Okay, state subject. Fine, you understand this? Okay, Meghalaya set out to add globalized form of of legalized gambling to indigenous tier or betting on number of arrows hitting a target of a straw. Okay, so it will be starting gambling on this thing, number of arrows hitting the a target of straw. State Law and Taxation Minister, a popular of okay of Meghalaya, which is a popular tourist destination, intended to generate adequate revenue from legalizing gambling, online betting and gaming. We come out with a gaming act and subsequently frame the regulation of gaming rules 2021. The government will accordingly issue licenses to operate a game of skill and charge both online and offline. Okay. But legalized gambling and gaming will only be for tourists and not for residents of Meghalaya, right? Like the complete ban on prohibition in Gujarat is for the resident and not for the tourist. Okay, they can have a limited amount of alcohol in the state as well, in the state of Gujarat as well, right? Tourists and visitors for work or business would be allowed to participate in such activities only after producing documents and etc. etc. Third Northeast state, Meghalaya will be the third Northeast state after Sikkim and Nagaland to make gambling and online gaming legal. The push for legalized gambling started after okay. You understand this? Gambling is a state subject, and in Meghalaya only tourists will be allowed to do that. Just have a look. Just know this. Okay. Now we don't have to read this. I've already discussed that. Let's see if anything else is left. India extends duration of 400 million currency swap. Okay, let's see. Sri Lanka also draw on 1 billion credit line. India on Friday extended the duration of 400 million currency swap facility with Sri Lanka, which had concluded with the island nation in January. This was the first extension of international debt instrument to Sri Lanka after government led by President Rajapaksa on April 12 temporarily suspended debt servicing. India's unstinted and multifaceted support to Sri Lanka continued. An ongoing currency swap at the rate RBI extended the duration of 400 million currency swap for at the rate CBSL, Central Bank of Sri Lanka, which was concluded in January this year. Indian High Commissioner to Colombo said on Twitter. Okay. The debt default came as the island nation was grappling with economic crisis, forex shortage, and a balance of payment crisis. Sri Lanka had also drawn on Indian credit line worth 1 billion for essential imports and separate ones for their importation of fuel. Meanwhile, PM Rajapaksa expressed Sri Lanka's gratitude to Chinese Premier, assurance of support. Hold a very productive conversation with Chinese Premier. I reiterated Sri Lanka's gratitude to China for long-standing friendship and for assuring support to address some of the crucial need effect. Okay, now there are two aspects to it. Yes, India and China are both helping India is helping its neighbor Sri Lanka to get out of the crisis, but without getting into the internal politics of Sri Lanka. China is also helping them out, but as usual, Chinese financial policies are guided or are motivated by their political policies. Okay, of one China and all those things, conqueror of the Chinese Sea and all those things. Their strategy of string of pearls requires Sri Lanka to be on their side, and they are therefore doing this. This is the most plausible reason for it. There can be other reason, it's perfectly fine, but it seems to be the most plausible reason, right? Now let's see if anything else is remaining on this page. Global sanctions of Russia may help Indian exports as per EEPC. What is this EEPC? Engineering Exports Representative Association. No, don't read it. Just understand, global sanctions on Russia may help to spur Indian exports. Yes, it is true. Now, since there are global sanctions on Russia, so Russia cannot deal in dollars. It can neither buy nor sell its thing in dollar. So what happens? There is a vacuum of things. There is a vacuum of the export things that Russia used to export created in the global market, like wheat for Egypt. So India can do what? India can take up that place. It's perfectly fine. It's look a cozy and rosy picture here. But what is the problem? Is our export sector ready for this? Have we enough to expose the vacuum created by Russia-Ukraine crisis? Is our quality enough, or is our quality up to the mark, up to the benchmark that yes, with this quality we can go ahead? These things we have to see. These are the main challenges. The supply side challenges are there and the demand side challenges are there. We have to understand this and act accordingly, right? And let's see if anything else is remaining. No, we are on the sports page, so there is nothing here. We understand this. And now let's move on to the editorial directly. I think it was on page 10 and I'm correct again. Now, art, museum and crafts of democracy. The current regime must check whether its rise in a hill project meets the obligation of promoting democratic principles. We'll just give it a very small, very small read. Why? Because in my opinion, I don't see it very coming close to our preparations, right? Inaugurating the Pradhan Mantri Sangrahalaya on grounds of 10 Murti House, thus Murti House in New Delhi on April 14, Prime Minister Narendra Modi declared that new museum will help youth value the expansion of constitutional governance since independence. However, this occasion he did not offer an update on ongoing efforts to convert the north and south block of the building which flank Rashtrapati Bhavan and currently House of the Prime Minister Office and Office Home Affairs into India's largest museum. Okay, fine, and this is not necessary. Fine. Let's see. We have to you can use this word projected narratives. Now you have to tell me in your answer that how you will use that word. Okay, I'll use this word in where? I'll use this word in security, international security, disaster management. I can use this in your science and technology, environment, anywhere I can use this word, right? Usher in transparency you know where to use. You don't have to tell. Laboratory for the future, okay. Anything that requires future generation to work on, it can become laboratory for the future. And essential ponderings can be written for way forward. Right, it is a good replacement for this way forward. 3-4 answer you write way forward, in 3-4 answer you write essential ponderings. Fair enough. So I think we have done with the most important news for today's newspaper, right? So again your homework is, you already know, tell me or not, write in comment box which news you will use as case study and in which GS paper. Okay, write it in comment box. I read each and every comment, right, and response accordingly to it. So with this I come to the end of today's newspaper, right? I hope you like it. Voila. So friends, I really hope that you like this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe our channel and share this video with your friend. Follow us on Telegram as well. Also keep studying hard, keep following your dreams and keep tuned to our channel. Comment below for any suggestion. Till then, goodbye, good luck, keep studying hard.